I'm going to make an instructional video just for my friends, for my son, for anyone that plays Pokemon Go or could find this useful for any other application in general. So I'm going to pull up my Pokemon Go account. As you've got your list of Pokemon. You can sort it obviously by, recent. You can do a lot of different sorting. It's built within the app, but sometimes that's not enough. There are a lot of shortcuts. You can Google them and get a list of them. I use almost all of them, but there are certain ones that I use more than others. So for example, if you hit the search bar and I want to see mythical Pokemon, I can type in mythical and I can it'll show me the mythical ones I have that are sorted as I've requested on the sorting options. But there are some other ones that take a little more time that are very useful when you're going into a raid. If you're going against a dragon type, you might want to use a team of Pokemon that are like double ice fast move and ice charge move. So for that, you would type in at 1 ice. That's going to pull up. Now we have my Pokemon that have an ice fast move, and then you would type in and at 2 ice. A lot of people know this already, and as you can see, it's all the ones that I pull up are both ice. Of course, then you have some that have 2 charge attacks. So for this, what I do is anytime something has, like for example, an ice fast move, I always try to make sure that the first charge move is also ice. That way when I use this command, it works, because if instead of Avalanche being first, if Bulldoze was first, then it would not pull up under this. If you don't have it set up that way, you can also, of course, just add in a third one, and at 3, well, for example, ice, this won't pull up anything, but if I typed in ground, now all of a sudden I've got this guy. So that is a workaround. You can always add the third one there. But the purpose for this video is not to show people commands, is to show a very nice way to have a shortcut to that, because you often don't have time when you're going into a raid, especially if you don't have a team set up in advance. So I'm gonna show you my little trick. If you download the Gboard, it's the keyboard made by Google. You can use this technique with other keyboards. Almost all of them have a way to pin things to a clipboard. But for example, if you look right above the number 5 and 6 on my keyboard, you see a little clipboard. This is how it looks with the Gboard. If I hit the little clipboard, you can see where it says clipboard, and it's got a lot of those. See, like what I showed you, the @1s and @2s, and you can see that those are all pinned. So what makes this super convenient is if I want double poison, I just hit this command for double poison, and now I've got my double poisons. If I'm trying to, if I'm sorting by recent and I've caught a bunch of Pokemon and I want to see quickly if any of those are perfect, it is easy. I could just type in 4 asterisk, but usually I would do that with 2 thumbs. And if I am using my left hand for something, I just want to do it quickly with just one hand on the phone. I just hit the clipboard, and then you can see there 4 asterisk, and that's going to pull that up. Another one I search for frequently when I'm using Pokeball Plus, because I'm bringing in so many Pokemon, is shiny. So I've got that set up right there. If I have Pokemon I've designated that I want to trade, I can just type in, trade. If I am trying to look for Pokemon that are eligible to, or that have been traded, for example, I could type in, traded. These are the ones that I have traded. And the one I don't have on here that I actually probably will add, if you put a exclamation mark in front of anything, that is not, means not. So exclamation mark traded. Now I'm pulling up the ones that are not traded. This is useful if without having to go into the trade, actually like starting to perform a trade with someone, you can quickly look over your Pokemon that are eligible to be traded. Of course, it's going to include mythical, which are not eligible. So you just keep that in mind, or you take the effort to do and exclamation mark, which means not mythical. And then now, of course, unless I'm forgetting something, every single one of these would be eligible to be traded, not taking into consideration special trades and if you use that up or not. So so these are what I have. I'm actually going to organize them a little bit better, maybe right now. So I want to show you how to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly clear this out because I have everything organized a little better for how I want it to be in there. Some of these are not alphabetized, so I'm going to go through and clear these out. Oops. I did this the long way. And okay, so now I'm here. I kind of want to do it from scratch in case someone doesn't know how to put on a new keyboard. So I'm going to switch over to the Samsung keyboard. Now I'm using the Samsung keyboard, which is doing an update because I hardly ever use it. If you look at the Samsung keyboard, it does have, you can do the same thing. It's got this clipboard option, and then you can see I've used it for this too. I don't like the way it looks as much, but you can delete and you can lock. So you can do the same thing with the Samsung keyboard. I just prefer the Google keyboard. So say you've got a stock phone with the Samsung keyboard, you want the Gboard. First step, just go into your Play Store, Gboard, you find it, you can see it's already installed on my phone. So you would install the Gboard. Now it's still not it's not necessarily going to show up as an available keyboard for you yet. So second step, go into your settings. If you're not familiar with Android settings, if you have enough processing power and it's not going to slow your phone down, sometimes just hitting search can lock up an older phone. You don't have to scroll through anything. You just go to the search command and type in keyboard. Then you look over the options that come up, and then third down is manage keyboard on my phone. And then you'll have these. Since you've installed it through the Play Store, it should be available here, except on yours it would look like this. So just go ahead and select Gboard. Now when you go into your keyboard, it's still going to be using the Samsung keyboard. So on most Samsung Android operating systems, it's going to be on the very bottom right. There's that little, it looks kind of like a miniature keyboard. You can do the same thing on most other phones, most Androids. I think it's even similar on an iPhone. You just have to know where to find the same option. So I'm going to hit that, and then just right here, it's currently selected Samsung keyboard. So now I'm just going to switch it to the Gboard. Now I have the Gboard. As you know, I've cleared out the clipboard. So now I want to add in all the shortcuts. So you can do this a different way if you want, but on my phone, I've got my little shortcuts here. I've got keep notes. I like this because it's backed up in the cloud. So if I bring my account over to another phone, I can pull up my notes. And I mean, obviously I've got lots of notes right here. So I'm going to click the shortcuts. And as you can see, all those that I had previously are all right here. What I did that's different, I updated a couple areas, and I went ahead and alphabetized all of these. I think before I get started, I want to add one more category. Going to go ahead and add not traded. Oops. And I might as well throw in not mythical, because it's just one less thing I have to think about when I use the command. So these are the commands, and now I'm going to relatively quickly get these put in to the pen shortcuts. So one thing to keep in mind is the order you put them in, because let's just say if I start from the top here, copy that, let's just copy this. Now if I click here, you can see this just shows recent. I'm going to do some more of them, except using the typing. Okay, let's copy this. Let's copy this. Let's copy that. So to pin something, now you can see I've got those. It maxes out at 5, but let's just say being alphabetized, I'm going to pin this one. Then I'm going to pin this one. Then I'm going to pin this one. And I don't know if you can see what's happening here, but it's reverse alphabetizing. The first one I did was bug, so that's going to be at the bottom. So unless you're really good at using the, thinking through the alphabet in reverse, this is probably not the best way to use this technique. So instead, I'm going to clear it out here in just a second. Instead, see PVP, I just copied that one in, and now that's at top. So what you want to do, I'm going to delete all these here, is doesn't matter what order you put these in, they can be, it's just not, it's going to mirror this. And so you want to start at the bottom is what I'm trying to say. So you can go through and do all this individually. I'm going to copy this. Now I'm going to go into the keyboard and I'm going to pin water, since that is, I want this to be at the bottom, so it's all alphabetized. I can do this as pin. However, as you saw earlier, the recent area of the clipboard, it has 5 in there, so just kind of keep the count in your head and do 5 at a time. So I'm going to copy. You can see it starting to populate beneath, and if you lose place, you can just look down. Copy. Copy. I'm going to do one more. Okay, so I want to do steel next, so just keep this part in mind. I want steel. Oops. Not a very good teacher. Okay, back to the keyboard. I want to do steel next. So you do a long press on it, and then there's that little safety pin there. Wait, what would you call that? It's not a thumb. It's kind of like a thumbtack. But you hit the little pin. You pin it, and then so we want it to be in reverse. So just remember the order it needs to be in, which would be starting with water, steel. So now we want rock, pin rock. Now we want psychic, pin psychic. Now we want poison, pin poison. Now we want normal, pin normal. And then you can see, you basically can take it from there. So I'm just going to pause the recording for a second until it's done. I'm not quite done yet, but I wanted to come back at this point. You can see I have added more. I just wanted to give an example of one I added that I did not have previously. Right at the top of the list here, you can see it's the @1, @2, @3. But with no typing. That I decided to throw that in there for situations like in the example I showed you at the beginning of the video, where you want to add a command to pull up your Pokemon with 2 charge attacks, and that way. So the reason I left it blank is I would just hit this. It would just be a time saver, a shortcut. So if I were to paste, I'll go down and just as an example, if I were to paste this, then it saved me a little bit of time, but what I would do is then I would just type in, for example, ice, ground. I think it might save a little bit of time over typing in that entire command. I don't know. it may be worthwhile to some people. Others may not want to use that, but I wanted to mention that. And then I just wanted to also explain, you already saw me explain why I have the not traded, not mythical command. Now I'm going to start adding these distance commands. This is something that some people could use and other people probably wouldn't care about. I have achieved the gold pilot medal, which is the medal you get after, I believe it's 100,000 miles of distance between trades. So I was trading, I was swapping eggs and gifts with someone over in Taiwan. Anytime I would have a hatch that was from there, that's like, around over 10K kilometers. And so if I would want to search my inventory to do a trade with a Pokemon that hatched from a Taiwanese egg, I would use this command, the distance 5,000 through, and I just put a big number in there. And then I put and not traded. The reason for that is because when making a trade, you can't trade anything twice. And I don't want it by having the second and not traded command there. It's making sure that I'm not pulling up ones that are not even eligible to be traded. Another useful purpose of these commands is when you have greater distance, and these are, I could actually make these more specific in regard to getting 3 candy, but when they've been, it's either 100 kilometers or it might be 150, you viewers would know better, but it's somewhere around 100 kilometers or more, you're going to get 3 candy instead of 2 for the trade. So when you are needing to farm some candy for a specific Pokemon, that can be helpful to sort by distance there. And then this is just my observation. I don't know if there's any science or accuracy behind this, but I feel like when it's a non-lucky trade, just a normal trade, I feel like it rolls and hits lucky more often for the farther distance trades. So sometimes when I'm trading between accounts and I feel anyway that I want to increase the chance of the trade going lucky, even though I've achieved the gold pilot medal, I will still use this command because I just feel, it's anecdotal, I know, but I just feel like it increases the chances of a lucky. So I still use it even though I've achieved that medal. So I just gonna go ahead and copy evolve and then mythical, and I'm gonna start on, start on this, and I will pause it again and come back in just a second. The reason I have the commands for CP 0 through 15, 1501, 25, 2501, large number, is pretty obvious for most people, but those are reflect the CP caps for the 3 different types of Pokemon Battle Leagues. 0 through 15 would that command would instantly pull up any Pokemon eligible to enter into the Great League. Then 1501, 2500, that's going to isolate it down to ones for the Ultra League, and then 2501 and higher ones that I would want to use in the Master League. There are some caveats to this. There could be just a really neat OP Pokemon that is would normally you would think be using Ultra. I don't have any that fit this category, but just say, for example, you had some kind of OP Pokemon that had a CP of 24.99 and you want to use in the Master League. Of course, if you hit the Master League link here, 2501 through large number, it's not going to reflect on that. I don't know of any Pokemon that anyone would want to use like that, but that's just one little caveat. So I am continuing up. Where am I? I did, okay, GBL, UBL, NBL. That's just a naming, sorting mechanism that I use. I already copied that. When I'm going through and if there are certain Pokemon that I have build up and add a second charge attacks to, or haven't added a second charge attack to, but just consider it good enough to use in PvP. I haven't done this completely, but I'm trying to just go with the naming practice of naming them GBL, UBL, NBL for Great League, Ultra League, Master League, respectively. So this I use this command when I have my Pokemon list pulled up and I want to be able to just quickly view and look, maybe edit, make changes to the ones that fit into those categories. Also, though, I use that quick command, the quick link, if I have a Pokemon that I just recently built up, added a charge attack to, and I want to just rename it. So it doesn't say GBL, but I want to say GBL. I go to the name change option inside the Pokemon Go app, and then I, clear out the old name, and then I just tap this. So it's just GBL. It saves me a few clicks. But when you're doing some repetitive work in the app, these little things do save time, and they just make it all go faster. So I am just about done. So I guess at this point I will just keep the recording rolling. Scratch that. I don't want to waste your guys' time. I'll be right back again. Okay, I'm going to try to wrap this up. I don't want this to be over 25 minutes. So it is complete now. So I'm just sorting my CP right now. You can see I've got all of the shortcuts here. If I type in, or if I use a shortcut for UBL, you can see some I have set aside for that league. If I search by distance, let's see if I have any here over 5,000. I don't. Of course, if I backspace out the not traded part, you'll see I do have some. Some of them saw the name Pilot on them. And oh, look, you can see of the 4 I have here, 2 of them are lucky. So that kind of supports the increased lucky chance. The other one, okay, so say I pull up a Pokemon and I look at its IVs. Let's do this. I've got one here that says rank number. And it's this guy here. I just recently started naming. I'm just going to type in the word rank, see if it, no. This guy here is, I'm not going to probably use him in the Ultra Battle League, but if you pull up a Pokemon, and you can see it has more or less PvP IVs. You look at those PvP IVs, and you're wanting to see how it stacks up. This one would be, what, 5, maybe 5, 12, 15. And you go to an app kind of like PogoStat. You could type in, like I'll just type in Zekrom, and 5, 12, oops, 15. I want to see how it compares against everything, so I'm going to leave that on Wild Catch. Calculate it, and you know what? That might have been 5. Oh, I need to take it from Great League to Ultra League. See how it. Let's make this. That might have been an 11. I don't know. It's maybe, I don't know. Well, regardless, let's just say we want him for Master League, okay? And so I put, he's a perfect Pokemon. I select Master League. Obviously, that'd be rank 1 for Master League for that particular Pokemon. If we do Scarm, and just for example, I do just your kind of generalized PvP IV. It's probably not going to be rank 1, but we'll see where it comes. With attack 0, defense 15, HP 15. That particular one for the Great League would be rank 163. For him, and you could, and actually it shows you right there. The rank 1 would be 0, 15, 13. So I somehow land a Scarm with 0, 15, 13 individual values, and you can see right there that, oh my gosh, I have a rank 1, and that is rank 1 not against all the other Pokemon. It is ranked against itself based on its individual values, which of course stack on top of a Pokemon's base stats. So if I have a Pokemon that is, I type these in. I've done this with a lot. I just don't have the rank listed across the board. But if something was, whatever the rank is, this one I believe is rank 94. I think I typed in the information wrong. You would see, if I want to say I pulled up, let's go by recent. And oh, well, this guy here, it says 14. I think the reason for this, I still need to go through and do some more renaming. But the reason I have that link is I would just clear this out, hit my shortcut. Where did I put it? Right here. Rank, and then of course I'm just going to type in 14. And then once I have more of those prepared that way, when I'm searching, you know, now he's going to come up there. So eventually you can see how that would be valuable. It would probably come up mostly because once I have this guy here, well, he's rank 14, so I'm probably going to add a second charge attack because I don't think I have anything better. I might as well just do that now. I have drill run. I'm definitely not going to change that. I'm going to keep sludge. And for the fast attack, I think this is a setup you want to run in the Great League. And so let's go ahead and power him up to where he needs to be. I love that it comes exactly to 1500. So this guy is now ready for the Great League. I don't know if I said Ultra League, Great League, but he is now ready and optimized for the Great League. So I'm not going to, now what I would do is I would just go through here and I'm going to name him GBL. But as I'm sorting through Pokemon, I eventually want any ones that are potential PvP viable. I will have, you know, a renaming strategy where I would put the rank number. So if I have something that says rank number, you know, whatever it is, then I can sort by rank, and then I can just take a closer look at those Pokemon. I know where it's ranked, and then if there's something I want to use, I add the applicable second charge, you know, TM it to where I want it to be, and it is good to go. I can't remember if there are any other shortcuts that I like. That shiny is always handy, of course. You know, legendary, self-explanatory. I kind of explain the distance ones, and then I do use these quite a bit. Like I want a double ghost. Now take this Tina here. It works because even though it has 3 attacks, they're all ghosts. But if I had the first charge attack, if I had the dragon attack that it has, it would not pull up even though it has a charge attack that is ghost. That is where that the kind of template here would come into play. Then I would, you know, I would just type in everything accordingly there. So that is a trick, kind of a life hack, Pokemon Go hack that is, of course, permissible, does not violate the terms of service, and it just speeds things up for you. So if you want to use that, go ahead. Hopefully this video helps some people. Take care. And of course I have to end the video with I love my son and my daughter. So if you guys are watching, I love you. Bye-bye. And my stepkids and my family and everyone. And Genevieve. Love everybody that I love. Bye-bye.